Welcome into a new edition of Inside Cowboys Training Camp, driven by Ford here from Oxnard, California, as training camp rolls on. Mickey Spagnola, I'm Kyle Youmans from DallasCowboys.com. And Mickey, it's the first day of pads. There's finally some physicality going to be put into these practices.
Yeah, I think these guys have been waiting for it, right? It's been a week they've been here, and finally the pads come on. I saw where Neville Gallimore said now the real camp begins, and he's absolutely right.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot more physicality, and that competition is going to be taken up a notch, I think, over the next couple of days. And to celebrate the start of pads, the Cowboys made a signing. How about that? They go out and get former first-round safety Malik Hooker. Spent a lot of time in Indianapolis. What do you feel about the signing, and what have you heard?
Well, I think, number one, they were waiting for him to make sure he was healthy after rupturing his Achilles. They worked him out before the practice yesterday, and he was able to do what they asked him to do. So I think what they're doing, and I asked the question, are you worried about the safeties you already have? And they go, no, not necessarily. It was an opportunity to bring in a talented player. So I think that was the move, to try to bring him in. But let's remember, while the Cowboys waited till yesterday to sign him, there were 31 other teams that could have had a chance. So, again, I think it's another safe signing to see if a veteran with experience can help him out.
So there has been a revolving door at the free safety spot the last couple of years around this Cowboys defense. So when you look at this signing, do you see a starter move or do you see a depth move?
I see a competitive move, and
Okay.
we've been talking defensively how competitive everything has been. And I think you just throw in another guy to compete for that starting job. Yesterday, DeMonte KZ said, no, not so fast, right? He had an interception, would have taken it back for a touchdown if they were actually playing football. So I think it just adds to the competition and make a best man win, because I don't think any of those guys have a contract that says, no, we got to keep this guy. You're disposable. So let the competition begin.
There has been a lot of rotation at the secondary spot and the safety spot, especially over the first couple days of practice, and that should continue deeper into the days here in Oxnard. How did that defense respond? Mickey just alluded to it, but we'll talk specifically on how the defense looked in Tuesday's practice when we return on more Inside Cowboys Training Camp, driven by Ford.
Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford, is brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. Sleep Number. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed helps everyone from parents to pros improve their performance through quality sleep, only at a Sleep Number store. And by Ford, built for Texas, built for you. This segment is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Tuesday was a big day for the defense out in Oxnard, California. It's Inside Cowboys Training Camp, driven by Ford, continues. Mickey Spagnola, Kyle Youmans, and there was a lot of energy, a lot of competition, which has been, of course, a buzzword around these parts recently. But I think the communication might have been the best talking point for the defense. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the defense absolutely won yesterday's practice. I thought the key thing that they did is they did a lot of situational football. 2nd and 7, ball's on the 13, you're down 7, 13 seconds to go. What are you going to do? And it's good for the offense, but it's also good for the defense to know how they're going to play. And I thought the competition was way up, and when the defense won one, they started barking. If the offense won one, I saw Dak giving them some grief. So yeah, it was really good, but good to see the defense making plays.
They made plays, and like you said, there was a little bit of swagger. There was that confidence, I think, from the defense, which is a big point of emphasis for this front office this offseason, was add to that swagger. Kelvin Joseph was an addition, and he talked to us about the mindset around this defense and a little bit of the confidence presented by Sleep Number.
We feel like we just go out and dominate against the wide receivers every day in the offense. We got to. That's our standard. That's where we come out. That's our practice mindset. We make them better, they make us better. But they got some dogs on the offense too, so every time we step up, we got to make sure we on our A game. Yeah, we going to fly around, no fly zone. We going to call it airplane mode. So when y'all drop this interview, tell them the Cowboys defense, Kelvin Joseph say airplane mode. You can't throw no fly zone.
Well, the no-fly zone might be coined from Kelvin Joseph pretty early on in camp. A little early for talk like that, but you like the confidence that they've had and the momentum they're starting to build. How do they continue that momentum and continue that swagger heading into the year?
Well, they just need to keep making plays on the ball. We mentioned KZ had an interception. Maurice Kennedy was playing in the slot with the first defense. Jordan Lewis was rehabbing a little injury, nothing too serious, but he took advantage of the opportunity. He had a pass breakup. He had an interception. Diggs had an interception. So, yeah, you want these guys to keep making plays, which is something that did not happen last year very often.
No, not at all. And I think some of these veterans that have been added to the mix, along with these young additions, both help the case. What have you thought about the young secondary players and what they've shown so far?
Yeah, I think that we've seen Kelvin Joseph. He's slowly kind of integrating in there, working second team, left corner, and he's starting to make some plays. So that's what you expected of him. We didn't see much of him in the offseason. He'd missed so much time, minicamp, along with the OTAs, but now we're starting to see maybe this is why the Cowboys drafted him in the second round. Donovan Lewis looking really good at the other safety position. So, hey, let the competition continue.
Yeah, Donovan Wilson definitely making a name for himself, I think, whenever it comes to that safety spot, and he did so last year. Hard hitting was one of the words that they used to describe him. He has a chance for that because the pads are coming on. What does that mean for this Cowboys defense when we return on Inside Cowboys Training Camp presented by Ford?
This segment was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Final segment of Inside Cowboys Training Camp presented by Ford here from Oxnard, California. Mickey Spagnola, Kyle Youmans, and the pads are on. We mentioned it up at the top of the show, but who benefits the most from having these padded practices that start off today?
Well, I think the offensive line and the defensive line, those guys can at least start doing what they do, right? When you don't have the pads on, it's hard for the offensive line to get a big push, or it's hard for the defensive line when you're playing the run. How well are we playing the run? And Mike McCarthy made a point in his press conference today talking about we need to run the ball better when we want to run the ball, not when you have to run the ball. And so this will give us a better indication when they are. And goodness knows the defense has to do a better job than last year stopping the run. They were awful against stopping the run, and that has to improve. So maybe we get a better idea where each side is once these pads have come on.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of the passing game, I think, through the first couple days of practice. Now we head into the running part of practice. And how do you toe that line between running too much and maybe risking injury or getting those reps in and allowing this defense to adjust?
They're not going to put the running backs on the ground. It's going to be kind of punch ups and tag up. But maybe some of the younger guys, when they get into some running drills, guys that have numbers like 34, 37, they might put those guys on the ground. But when 21's carrying the ball, he might as well have a red jersey on like the quarterbacks.
Yeah, nobody can touch 21. Now, who are you looking for really quickly before we wrap things up whenever the pads do come on?
You know, I want to see on the defensive line Neville Gallimore. I think he's coming on. He had a great offseason, worked out really hard, and we need him to be good because he's a pretty good interview, right?
Yes, he was a very good interview, and he had a really good rookie season. Can he compound that into a great year number 2? We'll certainly see over the next couple of days. He's Mickey Spagnola. I'm Kyle Youmans. That's going to do it for us here on Inside Cowboys Training Camp, driven by Ford. Be sure to tune in tomorrow to see how the pads went from Oxnard.
Inside Cowboys Training Camp, presented by Ford, was brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. Sleep Number. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed helps everyone from parents to pros improve their performance through quality sleep. Only at a Sleep Number store. And by Ford. Built for Texas, built for you.